Just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week. That search was at premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. The department did not make any public statements on the day of the search. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right. Copies of both the warrant and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search. The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. The property receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter. Faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy. Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor. Under my watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing. All Americans are entitled to the even-handed application of the law, to due process of the law, and to the presumption of innocence. Much of our work is by necessity conducted out of the public eye. We do that to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans and to protect the integrity of our investigations. Federal law, long-standing department rules, and our ethical obligations prevent me from providing further details as to the basis of the search at this time. There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approve the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly. Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken. Third, let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and Justice Department agents and prosecutors. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked. The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights. They do so at great personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them. This is all I can say right now. More information will be made available in the appropriate way and at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Attorney General,
thank you all for your questions, but as I said, this is all I can say at this time.
And with that, the Attorney General leaves the room. No questions. A little bit shy of 5 minutes statement from Attorney General Merrick Garland. And we're going to continue our coverage of this throughout the course of this hour. But you have been listening to Fox News coverage of Attorney General Merrick Garland. I would point out a couple of news items quickly here. And one is that he says that the Department of Justice filed a motion to make the warrant and the receipt of what was taken from the property public. But it is up to the former president to do that. He says the former president received both of those, the warrant and the receipt of what was taken. He said the department has filed a motion to make both public. He also said, I approved this search warrant. And he said, whenever we can, we try to take a less intrusive means, suggesting that in this instance, he did not think that that was feasible or appropriate. He didn't use those words, but I'm gathering from what he said that he felt there was no other measure other than to approve the search warrant in the manner that it was delivered. He also addressed the attacks on the FBI, as he put it, their integrity. He said that these are dedicated patriots, dedicated to the service of the country. So there, you see the aerial shot of Mar-a-Lago. This is the scene of the raid that unfolded about 72 hours in the pre-dawn hours ago. With that, we ask you to stay tuned to Fox News Channel and this Fox station. We will have continuing coverage of this breaking news throughout the hour. I'm Martha McCallum in New York.
Well, what do you think about that? What do you think? That is something else, folks. That's unprecedented. I thought I've seen it all. I thought Watergate was one thing, but to have the former president, the guy who was just the president, have his home searched by the FBI because they think he has information he shouldn't have, which could lead to, I believe, jail time. I have to talk to somebody with better knowledge about this stuff than I do. If it's classified, right? Which gives me an idea as far as getting a hold of someone who would be a specialist at this to come on and talk about it. Anyway, write your comments down in the video. Let me know what you think about what this. He didn't say much. He just, it was like he came out. But I'm saying why? Well, yeah, but he could release the press, put a press release out. He didn't have to do this grand thing that interrupts broadcast in the middle of the day. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm talking about what the message was. You know, it feels like a victory lap. It's like, we did this. Now let me explain to you why we did it. Mainly, I think because Donald Trump went out and made it look like he didn't know about it. He didn't know it was coming. So I think he was trying to reset. Yeah.
Trump and also the governor, the Republican governors, senators, they're making a field day out of this.
Yeah.
So he did just the right thing.
Yeah, he did.
Get Trump's vote. Along with millions of Americans will be very happy about it.
More later, folks. This is, if you're just joining us. Oh, hey, Dustin, how are you? You just missed Merrick Garland give a very short 4-minute statement on the intellectual mechanics behind the Mar-a-Lago raid. I'll put it that way. Done by the FBI. And I was wondering why he chose to do this in the middle of, make this statement on without taking questions in the middle of the day. But given the kind of saber rattling Trump was doing, it was necessary to do. I really thought he was going to come out and say something like, I've filed an indictment against the former president of the United States, something like that. That's how it felt, you know? And maybe he intended to have that kind of look, maybe to send the former president a warning that, hey, you're in deep doo-doo. But even then, I think it would be unprofessional to do that. Says shows a high level of it all, says Dustin, given that Garland's personally signed it. Yeah. Well, it's serious. It's a serious offense. You have a former sitting president who took classified material, allegedly took classified material. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but he absolutely did this. They think the material may be classified. They're not sure publicly. But behind the scenes, let me put it this way. They wouldn't go through these lengths unless Donald Trump had taken something he had no business removing from office, okay? Plus, Trump has deep ties to Vladimir Putin and Russia, and a relationship that would point to his getting money from Russia to then operate his businesses around the world, and we don't know what else they conspired to do. And given our relationship with Russia, Trump is this close to stepping over national security lines all the time, it seems to me. And this very well may be the time that he did it. Wow. And you would say, why would he do it? Someone, I believe, gave him billions of dollars to get out of that fourth bankruptcy he filed. I think he was something like $1.83 billion in debt. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So I believe Donald Trump made a deal with the devil, Putin, to get himself out of debt. That's just my hypothesis, my educated guess based on study. So anyway, more about this later. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark OaklandNewsNowblog.com.